It's been a while, but back in 2022, I reviewed the Xgimi Horizon Pro 4K, and I thought it was a really good projector, one of the best at the time. But I haven't looked at one of their projectors since then. And I've seen they've released quite a few new ones, portable projectors, ultra short throw projectors, home projectors. And I love the idea of having a home theater set up with a giant screen. So, yeah, taking a look at, a new projector, it's cool. I'm already in the middle of having a home theater set up. So when XGimme hit me up and said, "Hey, you want to take a look at the Horizon S Max?" I was excited. So, like I said, I'm in the middle of getting things set up. So I have a 120-inch floor rising screen ready to go. It's an ALR screen, which the screen that I have is meant for an ultra short throw projector, but it works perfectly fine for a projector like this as well. So what we're looking at, the Xgimi Horizon S Max, it's a 4K projector that's IMAX enhanced ready. We're going to go over the specs, unbox it, all that good stuff, test it out, give you guys my thoughts and impressions. I'm not a professional projector person. I just love this kind of stuff though. So it's more about me just sharing my experience of using it. And yeah, I am impressed, but there are certain things we'll go over here. But specs real quick. So lighting source, it's a dual light 2.0 or tricolor laser LED. They have these two options. We'll talk about that more in a moment. We have 3100 ISO lumens brightness, 20,000 hour light source life, which would be almost 14 years at 4 hours of use a day. I think that's pretty good. So we have a 1,000,000 to 1 dynamic contrast ratio, Dolby Vision certified. We have Dolby Audio, Harman Kardon 12-watt speakers built in, two of them. I'll talk about my experience with the speakers in a moment. Then we have a stand, this 360-degree horizontal, 135-degree vertical movement stand. So the throw ratio is 1.2 to 1, meaning for every 1.2 feet of distance between the projector and the screen, the image will be 1 feet wide. So I have this screen, like I said, where it's set up for an ultra short throw projector. So with this, it can't be right up in front of the screen. So I had the projector about 9 feet away. Now that gave me about a 75-inch image on my screen. Now, you can mount the projector to a ceiling or wall if needed, and you can get up to a 200-inch image without losing quality. You go further back, you risk, if you try to get a bigger image than that, you risk losing some quality in the image. I did look into their specs, and I think the recommended max size is around 160 inches. But you can go, like I said, up to 200 without sacrificing much there. Now, the one good thing about mounting to the ceiling or wall is, like I mentioned, is all these smart adjustment features that they have, and they do work great for my testing. And I know previous projectors they've had have had this kind of stuff, but they have like auto keystone correction, autofocus, intelligent obstacle avoidance, eye protection modes, which is a good thing. Like if you walk in front of it, kid walks in front of it, a pet or something, it just shuts off type of thing. So you're not getting blinded, burning your retinas type of thing. That's a good feature to have. You also have wall color adaptation, which is neat if you're just projecting on a wall. Ultra widescreen mode. You got all these like neat little features, but as far as the correction modes, you can go in and fine tune and tweak things. But the autofocus, the auto keystone correction, like it's all intelligent and it'll do it on its own once you just boom, set the projector down. So we'll talk a little bit more on that in a second, but that dual light 2.0 that I mentioned earlier, it's Xgimi's tech using a wide spectrum and narrow spectrum hybrid light source technology, combining both light sources to reduce or eliminate color fringing and ghosting and speckling, which is possible. Issues that make image quality on 3-color laser projectors less clear. So that's like their little thing with these projectors, is this new feature, this new technology that they have to have better, visuals and quality. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, also built in with this projector, you have Android TV 11. So you have 64 gigabytes storage to download your applications, that kind of stuff. You have Wi-Fi 5, Bluetooth 5.1. Now, as far as ports go, You have HDMI eARC, just one HDMI. You have USB 2.1. You got like two USBs, and that's it. So those are all the ports you have. And you have a power button. You have no other buttons on this thing, so you do have to use the remote. Now, it is neat how, like, once you sync up the remote and you just press power, there's like a little sliding thing that exposes the light source. So it keeps it protected and, without getting dust and stuff on it. I thought that was really nice. You just press the power button and it just slowly lowers. When you first turn it on, you have to press the power button on the back and it lowers, and then you sync the remote to it. But yeah, there's no other buttons on the projector. So you do have to use the remote for all that. So as far as other features go, you do have 3D support, which I think is freaking awesome. Care what anybody says. I love 3D movies, man. So you get 3D support via top, bottom, side by side, and frame packing. That's one of the more important ones, in my opinion. And this uses DLP Link 3D glasses. Now, you have to purchase those separately. They do not, this projector doesn't come with any. But Xgimi, they do sell DLP Link 3D glasses for $29 a pair, but any brand will work. But the ones they sell, they are comfortable. They fit over my prescription glasses, no problem. And they worked great. I've watched several 3D movies with these glasses on the projector. Everything was good. Man, I wish this stuff didn't go away, but I love that these projectors still support 3D. There's plenty of movies out there that are still being sold in 3D in other countries, Germany and Japan. Oh my God. So yeah, awesomeness. But moving on. So my thoughts on this projector, the brightness of the projector was great. Everything looked clear. During my time using it, ambient light didn't really affect the image quality. Details and colors all looked awesome no matter what I watched or played. Now, playing games on the projector, it would go into low latency mode, like gaming mode, and that was good. Didn't notice any issues. Everything felt good to me with latency. This was one of the nicest projectors I've used as far as visual quality goes. It just looked really great. Like the blacks were dark, colors popped, everything looked good. The motion was fine. Like, yeah, that light source, that dual light 2.0, whatever that technology is, I wasn't seeing any ghosting or any of that speckling. And I've seen that before with other projectors. So whatever they're doing with that, I do think it does make a difference, or at least it seems it does. So that was pretty cool. Now, the audio with the built-in speakers, I think I've said this before, but I think the Harman Kardon speakers, they are pretty good. They do sound fine, but for a temporary solution. I think they sound better than like standard TV speakers and better than most built-in speakers on projectors I've used in the past. But at the same time, my own experience, I typically use Dolby Atmos home theater setup. So that's what I'd prefer to use because that's what I'm accustomed to using every single day. But, what they have built in, I think definitely will be fine for most casual viewing. Or if you're taking this projector over to someone's house or traveling with it, it'll be fine. It gets loud enough for a full room to hear, no issue. And the sound quality is decent enough. I think that's one of the biggest things I like about this projector. It's not listed as a portable projector. It's a home projector. So you would set it up, leave it, and that's it. But even though this thing is around 10 pounds, it's easily moved. It's just, I could see you taking it from one room to another to a relative's house. The setup is easy. You don't need to fiddle around with trying to find the sweet spot of getting things going. It just automatically does everything for you. Those auto smart adjustments, they've been around on a lot of projectors for a while now, but I always notice you'd still need to fiddle around a bit, making fine adjustments. But with this projector, the Horizon S Max, I just dropped it wherever I wanted, and it just adjusted itself to the perfect image to the surface it was pointed at. It would just square up. It would just make those adjustments, focus, the auto keystone correct. Everything was good. I didn't have to adjust anything. I loved that. That was really cool. So there's a lot of awesome things to say about this projector. I do think it's of really great quality, but I think the one thing that people may see as a con initially is that it only has one HDMI port. And hey, I can't argue with people. If you see that as a con, that's going to be a con for you. But the way I see it, is that if you had this projector as like your home theater setup, it would be behind you or above you, like mounted or something, right? And you don't want too much going in and out of it. As the HDMI port that it does have is eARC, you would have that single HDMI run to a soundbar to your speaker setup. And that sound bar or whatever should have multiple HDMI ports. And there you would have whatever else you wanted plugged in, like your PlayStation 5, your Xbox, your Apple TV, or whatever else, right? And that would make it more easy to, access all those things to move around or swap things if needed instead of trying to get into your projector. I mean, that's just my thought as my previous experience with projectors that have more than that have more HDMI ports. I've never really used more than just the eARC HDMI port, but I suppose everyone will be different, but that's just my experience. That's the way I see it. And if you don't see it that way, that is fine. That is fine. I'm perfectly fine with it just having one HDMI port, but yeah, I could say it wouldn't have hurt to have an extra one for sure. You do have the Android TV built in. My preference is to use Apple TV, but you can get all your streaming services, stuff like that through, just this thing being built in. You don't have to have something else plugged into that HDMI port, so yeah, there's options. There's different ways to go about it. So yeah, I think this is a very impressive projector as far as the quality and features go. I mean, it is packed full of stuff to make this thing simple and easy to use. Now, as far as like having this set up for myself, my space is a little limited. I'm looking at ultra short throw projectors for a 120-inch screen, and for me, like I said, I had this like 9 feet back, and it was like 75 inches, 80 inches or so. I would need this to be like about 12 feet around that, and I don't have the space. So yeah, you got to look at that throw, 1.2 to 1 feet. So you got to do the math. Look at your setup. Look at all the specs. See if it's going to work for you. More information will be down below. Link is down there. Take a look. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Bye.